It falls so fast, bro. Right? And we always talk about loyalty. We always talk about respect. But it's like, yo, I was looking through history. You know what I'm saying? There was one guy. I don't know if y'all ever heard of him. His name is God damn, just slipped my mind. Domingo. Sorry, I don't want to mess his name up. So he came from New York to DC, and he was hustling too. And they smoked him on the basketball court over the women thought he was fly, and they thought he was messing with somebody's girl or whatever the case is. And he was around the times of Rayful and them. And they smoked him on the basketball court. I looked through history, even the Italians, everybody, Sammy the Bull, everybody start telling and turning on each other. Are you saying that that's how it go? That's how men do it?
Yes. Listen, bro. I told you, like, especially with niggas, the nigga lander syndrome is real, bro. Niggas can't, bro. Who was that? The Rich Porter attitude. Most motherfuckers don't have that shit. Everybody can eat B. Most niggas don't see it that way, bro. Most motherfuckers look at, no matter how much they got on their plate, they looking at yours. And they're like, nah, I want the biggest plate. I want to be the only motherfucker at the table with shit on my plate, so everybody looking at me. So if your plate getting too big or your plate already bigger, now I got to get rid of you. So you know what I mean? It's like The Wire. I think one of the best illustrations, HAMP, for real, what you're talking about, like loyalty versus disloyalty, and just, you know, dominance and control, the black man interaction and dynamic, bro. I think if The Wire, bro. I think that right there is a great fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean The Wire. I like The Wire 100%. But now we got real people, right? If the disposition of us men is to be on high at all times and do a nigga dirty, or we jealous when somebody grinding or doing well, the fuck does that say? Like what type of disposition is that?
Hey man, crabs in the barrel mentality, man.
But that shit is crazy though.
I agree. But I think too comes with confidence, man. So a lot of people don't have confidence. A lot of people don't have you know, they would rather blame somebody else for their lack of success than hold themselves accountable. So the easiest thing to do is, you know what I mean, make somebody else a target, and you know.
What you think, Aaron? Is men's natural inclination? I understand being competitive, right? But then to hate on someone, to find a way to cause an issue with somebody, to paint narratives, right? To take somebody's life, right? Jealousy, real like are we competitive or are we emotional? Are we jealous? Like which one is it actually?
So when you say the phrase absolute power corrupts absolutely, I think absolute power has a certain magnetism to it. And when you get close in proximity to absolute power, it starts to pull you towards it, and you start doing shit that's uncharacteristic. And I think that most people that are at the very top, I'm talking about like the tip of the iceberg in any particular arena, there's a level of narcissism that these people have, or I think there's a little sociopathic tendency that got them there. And when you are a close number two to the number one man, you're gonna get into some unsavory shit. I don't think it's an inherent component of men, period. I think it's a component of men that becomes toxic when you get near the top. I would say toxic competition. I mean, men are competitive, but competition can get toxic. Like you can start breaking the rules. You know what I mean? Like when you play sports, it's when you start playing dirty, especially if you're not going to get caught. But then when you're so powerful to the point where if you do get caught, the consequences are relatively small. You're going to play a dirty game. You know what I mean? No one's going to play honest when you can't play honest to get that far up. You got to fuck somebody. So you're going to be prone to it. But I don't think it's a component inherent to just men, period.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But we just, because we talk so much about relationships, right? But like you were mentioning, what's the initial disposition? So we have numbers, right? But we don't have the nuance in the numbers, meaning why we get to those numbers, right? So I was looking at these things, right? Each and every time I'm seeing the men who are doing, let's say, well for what they do, right? It's illegal, so we understand, right? They poison the community, all that stuff. But in terms of just people out here grinding and shit like that, they always getting backstabbed by other men. I mentioned this before. There was 2 cats. The girl lived, both of them died. One nigga died in the grass with his ass up in the air. The other nigga died over the sink, messing with the same chick. We say this all the time. You go to the hood right now, the first grave about $1, the next 2 about a woman. What's the actual mindset though? Because I liken that behavior to this behavior.
No, what you're talking about is just competition. That's just a duel to the death. You know what I mean? But this behavior is beyond competition. This is when you get to a point where you don't necessarily need anyone else, but the guy right beneath you who doesn't need anyone else either is gunning for your spot rather than being, I don't want to say content with where they're at, but it requires you to be really, really dirty to get that last rung on the ladder when you're that high up. Like it's in any arena, whatever it is, when you're at the precipice of that arena, like I said before, you had to have been somewhat of a sociopath and a narcissist to get there anyway. Now that you're almost there, you're the number 2 guy and the number 1 guy, and especially if you're in the number 1 guy's camp. Now it has to be competition, even if you're on his team. And the competition can be deadly because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And when you're in that close proximity to it, it has its magnetic effect that it has on you. You can't escape that. You don't have the you know what I mean? You don't have the speed to be able to escape that gravitational pull from that.
What you about to say, Mr. Fantastic?
No, I'm saying Aaron's hitting it. There's actually been studies done that suggest or lean towards a lot of the your top CEOs and things being psychopathic, right? Having traits of psychopathy. You have to when you look at the hyper competitive people, your Jordans, your Kobe's, your Brady's, your all these you hear the stories of other men tell about you. The level of competitiveness that they have just compared to everybody else is just like you wouldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Even outside of the sport. So, but the thing is, though, I think for most people don't qualify there. I think, unfortunately, for a lot of people, it's just jealousy. And like I said, it's because it's very, very few Fortune 500 CEOs or Michael Jordans and and so on and so forth. But for most people, I think people hate to have to face their inadequacies through the mirror of looking at somebody else, especially somebody that they see as their equal, right? This is why whenever you go back home, I remember when you used to in high school and this and that and people will always refer to you where, they want to bring you to their level if they know they're not on yours.
Yeah, no, yeah, I certainly understand it, and we see the jealousy rear its head, or people will make excuses for either poor behavior or lack thereof, right? We often hear it. And if somebody lacks, right, even the person who may be a little bit higher on the totem pole will disparage with the things that we seemingly qualify ourselves with. Do you think us as men think money is what proves us to be great the most?
In this time society, I mean, that's a big part of it.
You think it's the biggest part?
Yeah, I mean, your physical prowess and your intelligence, two of the things that would set you apart back in the day, no longer, hold the same weight, because now anybody can be smart with a smartphone. and you have machines and things now. You feel me? Most people aren't, like I said, my bad, go ahead, Aaron.
No, I was going to say, and let's just entertain the idea that it isn't. Let's just say that is not. How do you measure it? The dollar bill just gives you increments along the ruler to be able to measure anyway.
Yeah.
Now, what does that do to a man's disposition if money is the proof that he's great? Does money become a god? If so, where does loyalty go? Where does disrespect lie?
I'm glad you said a god and not God.
Oh yeah,
because that's what happens, though. You see the difference?
Oh yeah,
So
yes, 100%.
Well, no, hey, I'm glad you made that distinction. So no, I agree 1,000% now. A God, yes. Yeah, no, you're right. Hey, shout out to Aaron. Yeah, that's a great point. So a God, yes, it kind of has to be. You know what I'm saying? Because shout out to the Bible. Money solves all things, right? So you have to have it in order to operate. So to a degree, yeah, it has to be a God for you because, like I said, it's a measuring stick, and it allows you to move around in the world.
I don't know if because here's a thing, right? What are we willing to sacrifice? What are motherfuckers willing to do for $1? What I realize is we talk about the women quite often about their disposition being negative, but then I'm thinking about the things that we say prove ourselves and what we're willing to do for the money, right? So I don't think it should be a god. I know it's a great tool, but now it becomes a man's proof of how good of a man, how valuable of a man he is, right? And then what happens is our counterpart will weaponize the fact that I do or don't have money to say whether I'm good, whether I'm great or not. And we don't like it. You see? So it's cognitive dissonance. I'm trying to process it. When you sent that message, Aaron, I'm thinking like, how do we actually think through and process this shit? Right? Because what I wonder is, what do we actually do to ourselves? Right? What consequences do we actually bring on ourselves? Right? Even before we get to the women. What is our measuring rod pause amongst each other? And then when they do it, right now it's like, oh, I should be good. But I don't even think he good if he don't got no money either. You feel me? So if Mr. Fantastic broke to me, my first insult, shut up, broke nigga. You can't come here. You can't go there. You can't do this. You can't do that, right? And then the women will say, I ain't dating no broke nigga. Nigga, it's 40,000 extra dollars. Why wouldn't you accept that? Right? Because me and Mr. Fantastic can't go out together if he making $40,000 a year. Right? Because he become a liability. Niggas can't get in the club. Niggas want to know how much the bottles is. And I'm just being hypothetical about this, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. When we was in Philly, Mr. Fantastic didn't even eat and pay for everybody's food, right? So obviously I'm not being but you see, this is the mindset. So where does this shit start?
That's a good question. I think it starts right after survival is taken care of. Once survival became kind of it moved from being an imperative to a guarantee. Mm-hmm. It starts there. It started at the point where everything is now gravy. Everything's icing on the cake. Mm-hmm. And now we get to measuring icing, gravy. And we can become it can get real toxic in that space because nobody's survival is predicated on it. When when my survival's on the line, your survival's on the line, I can't insult you with shut up, dead nigga. Mm-hmm. Either A, because you dead, or B, because I need you for my survival, or you need me for yours. And even if I don't need you for mine and you need me for yours, I can leverage that and keep you alive. But now I can't insult you with being dead because your survival is predicated on what I do. See what I'm saying? There's a mutual need and a mutual benefit to us being here. And when that need is no longer met, then that means both have failed. But once your survival is guaranteed, where everything else is recreational, that's when toxic competition seeps in. You don't need it anyway. I'm coming for it. If you needed it so bad, you would have protected it a little better. You did all the work to grab it and keep it. Why would I do all that work? I'll just snatch it off you. You ain't no better than me.
Okay. Yeah. What you think, Mr. Fantastic? I know I was kind of long-winded what I was laying out.
No, it's cool. Yeah, man. The money part plays such a part because
Mr. Fantastic. All right, you trying to remember what I said. Let me
I
ask
heard
you a
what you
better
said.
question. Let me
So I'm
ask you a
taking
better
consideration
question.
what Aaron said, because Aaron laid out the point of like he ran into something that I wanted to bring up.
All right, go ahead.
So the survival aspect of it is very, very important. Human beings are naturally lazy. So the shortest distance, right? The easiest way to do something. People gotta forget, bro. We're not even. I think we're not even 400 years removed from the life expectancy being like 35. I think I looked it up. So now you got all this extra time, and people really you're not faced with anything. So when the money comes into play, right? Okay, yeah, you got money, I got money, I need money, all these different things. But at the same time, shit, I got time. I've doubled my time. In less than half a century, it used to be 35 years, nigga. Hey, you gotta fucking dodge swords, you gotta dodge motherfucking bears, you gotta dodge the black plague. Now you gotta worry about none of that shit now. Like, hey, you wake up, you know what I'm saying, and don't die. You know what I'm saying? You like other than a nigga shooting you or some shit. So I think it's just a lot more time. And then, like you said, life being made easier by all the other things. You don't gotta kill your food no more. It is done for you. That's why we fat as fuck. That's why we say men aren't men. Motherfucker, you ain't gotta lift no fucking bales of hay. You ain't gotta go out and plow no fields. You feel me? If you wanna be in shape, if you want to lift weights, that's recreational at this point. It's not something that's naturally done because you have to work your body in order to survive. So I think the money on top of that is now, oh shit, well, I can sit in an air conditioned room 8-10 hours, however many hours a fucking day, 40 hours a week, get paid to fucking do that shit, and then just shit on niggas.
I understand. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. It's just crazy. It's almost like the easiest shit, the more disrespectful people are, but specifically niggas. I'm talking about us right now. I ain't talking about the women just yet, right? Like, that shit is crazy, man. One thing I thought of when we was talking about this money and respect, disrespect, etc., how it proves you. Hypergamy. This is a true or false statement. Hypergamy created by jealous niggas. Hypergamy created by niggas with no muscle. Right? Because it's often tied to money. And so if I got money, now I can level out with the big, strong, fast niggas. Right? I'm jealous of these men who got the physical prowess from way back when. I don't got access. But now, hey, I got the most money. I got access to women. And I understand that hypergamy has other parameters, right? But generally speaking, it's tied to money.
Yeah, like I said, so it's a security. So it's the easiest way of security, right? So like you said, no matter how strong that nigga is, hell, if he living in a fucking hut and you got a fucking mansion or a castle or some shit, what the fuck she gonna pick?
The mansion or the castle.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, nigga, it sounds good, whatever. But women like comfort even more than men do. You feel me? So if I ain't gotta, fend for myself and I ain't gotta pick no berries and none of this shit, we got servants and maids, and I'm taking milk baths versus motherfucking hoping I don't run into a fucking fox or a wolf down at the creek. I mean, what you gonna choose?